I gotta be quiet out here. It's after midnight. I'm in Salad and I Saw Gremlins. It is directed by Joe Dante, written by Christopher Columbus. And if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This movie follows an inventor father. He's looking for a Christmas present. He goes into Chinatown. Very shady place. I personally wouldn't go down there, but he was like, I gotta go look for a cool place to get my son a present. So he asked this little boy, hey, where can I get my son a present? I also wouldn't do that, but hey, you do you, I guess. And this little boy is like, let me take you to down here. And so he goes down there, and guess what? It's a shop full of antiques. He's looking around, he's like, what's for sale? He's just looking around, trying to think, what does my son want for Christmas? It is a few days before Christmas. He looks over, and he's like, oh, there's something cute over here. Can I have it? Shop owner's like, nah, man. And I'm like, that makes sense. Why would you not want to sell something in your store? Why do you have this store? If nothing's for sale, what are you doing down here? And this guy is like, well, I guess I'm not gonna buy it. But as he's walking out, somehow the grandfather doesn't notice what's happening. But the grandson is this little boy that the father of this kid, you know, they met on the street. That's the whole connection between the two. And so we got him holding what is called a Mogwai, giving it to him. It's only for a couple $100. It makes me wish that things cost that much now. Things cost so much now. When was this done? 80s? I wish we had 80s prices. Well, anyway, he goes home, gives his son this Mogwai. He's like, hey, I got this for you. I gotta give it to you now because it's alive. And you're gonna have fun with it. And it's pretty cool. This Mogwai is so cute, very adorable. But I skipped ahead because I wanted to show the path of the Mogwai. Let's go look at the teenager who gets this Mogwai. He works at a bank and he brings his dog into the bank. Huh? Wait, was this allowed? You know, now in 2024, the only reason you can have a dog in a bank is if you have some sort of certificate, real or fake, saying that you can have this dog. And I'm saying real or fake because they're not allowed to ask you. So use that as you will. Or at least that was the thing when I was working at McDonald's, but I just assumed it applies everywhere else. Anyway, that's not relevant to the movie. He has this dog at the bank, underneath the desk. Okay, cool. It's a good boy. It's a good boy. However, this insufferable woman, she walks into the bank and is like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna get a loan. Why is there a dog there? Oh my goodness, I hate you, Billy. You suck. I'm going to say things that make it so the dog wants to attack. As somebody who grew up with dogs, I'm familiar with dog behavior, autistically so, very into dog behavior. So I've read up on this. Here's actual facts. Dogs don't understand human words unless you associate the word to a thing that you want them to do. I had to learn this the hard way trying to tell a dog its name for the first time. It doesn't know that's its name until you like give its pet. It's like, oh, Annie is a dog name. And it doesn't know it's its freaking name at all. You have to be like, Annie, and then like go to it and pet it. And so when they hear Annie, they associate that with come here or whatever. You know, you have to associate words with dogs. So the fact that this dog is attacking this woman ferociously, not really. He's not like biting her. Kind of just like, you know, tugging at her. Of course, she wants to put the dog down. This is very sad. So Billy gets a Mogwai and they're hanging out. The Mogwai is pretty cool, pretty intelligent. It watches TV. It can learn words from TV. It can understand concepts and ideas. It can understand people. It's pretty cool. It's much smarter than a dog. I'd much prefer to have a Mogwai. However, there's a few catches, a few stipulations that I haven't mentioned yet. Don't expose it to bright light, hence why I'm out here. I'm a Mogwai myself. No water whatsoever. How does it drink? How does it eat? There's water in food. Not much of it, but there's water in food. How do you give it liquids without it doing whatever if you gave it liquids, you know? And don't feed it after midnight. And so Billy is like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a friend over. And I'm like, bro, you didn't explain him the rules. While the Mogwai is here, his name is freaking Gizmo from the dad. Your friend accidentally knocks over a cup of water, bam, multiplies. 5 more come out. They have different personalities. One is very aggressive, has a stripe on his head. His name is Stripe. He's the pack leader. And then their big brains are like, oh my goodness, we gotta give more people this. Why aren't they the best thing ever? Why aren't they everywhere? I'll tell you why they're not everywhere. They must be bad to deal with. And you just don't understand yet. Later in the movie it does. So this guy goes to his school. It is like, hey, look at this. Look at these creatures. Wow, look at this. Here's Gizmo. Oh, look, it go multiply after that because 1 drop of water is enough. Wow, that's crazy. So it goes, right, and gets 1, and the science teacher gets to have 1. All that fun jazz. This is a disaster. They're going to start multiplying if it ever starts raining. But anyway, they're all hanging out, and it's 11:40 on the alarm clock, but he later figures out that it was them tricking him so they would be fed after midnight, and he gives them a bunch of chicken legs. Or are they raw? I guess so. Chicken legs just go, and then they go eat, and then they make cocoons. But here's something about Gizmo. Gizmo's like, I don't want it at all. How old is Gizmo? How long has he been existing? Wait, where does the Mogwai come from? Why aren't there more of them? Is Gizmo the only one? Is he 100 years old and understands that he doesn't need to be fed after midnight? How old is Gizmo? And of course, these cocoons hatch and they spawn terrible creatures, and it's now Christmas Eve. And what's so fun about this is they start terrorizing things, and they gotta find a ways to get them. We gotta figure out a way to get them back. We gotta figure out a way to get them, make sure that they get collected, and then executed Order 66. A few loose ends. That woman from earlier trying to execute the dog, she gets got. Pretty awesome. She's sitting on an electric chair because these freaking gremlins are messing with electricity. They're all electricians. They're just doing chaos everywhere, breaking the store, breaking every single thing that they get their hands on. And so I like Gizmo's calm and collectedness during all of this. If he's the OG, then he's had to deal with a lot of these situations and knows what happens. I like Gizmo for that. He's very wise. There's also this chick who is telling Billy this sad story about how she lost her Christmas spirit. She's like, oh yeah, my dad, he was gone on Christmas Eve and we never heard from him. Then it was found out that a few days later we got the smell and it was no good. So we called somebody. They went to the chimney, and guess what? He was there. So sad, he slipped and broke his neck. And I heard that, I was laughing. I was like, bro, that's what you get for trying to go down a chimney as Santa Claus. You don't know what the chimney's like. You don't know what it looks like. Wow, you slipped and broke your neck. And a slippery night where it's icy. Bro, you knew the conditions. You knew what precautions you had to take. I'm sure you didn't take them. That's why I laughed. It was not sad to me. It was a hilarious way to die. A great way to die. I wish I died like that. That would be pretty cool. Not chimney thing specifically, but something cooler, actually. Like getting into a canyon and throwing myself into a brick wall. That'd be fun. Anyway, they deal with all the commotion, all the fun jazz, and then they have a good old Christmas. But guess what? The grandfather, the guy who ran the shop, comes and is like, give me that. Give me my Mogwai. And it's cool that the Mogwai and Billy have a connection because Gizmo's like, goodbye, and then they just go walk off. And there's a cool sequel setup where he's like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure that he grows up more before you talk to him some more, whenever that's gonna be. And that's Gremlins 2. I like this movie. It was a fun time. The theme is really catchy. I don't remember it, but when I was listening to it, I was like, this is bopping. It's pretty cool. I like this movie. When it was the first time you watched Gremlins, let me know in the comments below. My hands are starting to freeze, so I gotta give this movie, it's a solid 7.5 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one on the platform you likes that $20 Dinos at patreon.com/ASEPresents. Support the daily grindiness by going to this link tree, saying go here. And until next time, mint salad saw. I'll see you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits.